Okay, do we have a motion to convene the September 10th, 2024 Marketing Committee meeting?
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so let's begin the opening ceremonies. Let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please. Start with you, Town Manager.
Bill Zolper, Town Manager.
Commissioner Bauer, liaison.
Alex Sedgwick, Marketing Chairperson.
Patrice Gansey. Ellen Winkler.
Louisa, sorry, you're on mute.
Luis, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There we go.
Would you mind repeating your name?
Oh, Maria Luisa Martinez.
All right. Do we have a motion for the adoption of tonight's agenda?
Move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we have approval of the May 7th, 2024 Marketing Committee meeting minutes?
Yes.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Okay. Before we get started with the official agenda, I'd like to take a quick minute to give a thanks to Alex Hanna. He served on the marketing committee for several years. He unfortunately no longer has the time to do that, but I do want to officially acknowledge his contributions to this town as well as the committee. So once again, thank you, Alex Hanna. And when you have a seat, just if you don't mind introducing.
Okay. Hi, I'm Carmel Monfiletto.
All right, so let's begin with item 1, discuss and possibly vote to recommend a winter seasonal activity to the town council. So we had discussed this at the last meeting. We had discussed how we want to create some more seasonally related activities that can drive tourism and business to the town. So has anybody any more ideas on what they were thinking about for this winter seasonal activity?
Well, we talked briefly about doing a pumpkin carve.
I know also someone had brought up that possibly doing choir, where we would have school children singing carols, maybe not necessarily Christmas carols, but holiday theme, just so that we're compliant in terms of not necessarily favoring any religion.
And where would we get such a group? From the citizens or from a school or?
Yeah, I think in that case, it would probably be best if this is approved, that we would coordinate with one of the local schools, Cape Henlopen School District, to see if there's a class or, you know, a choir, club, et cetera, that would be possibly interested in that.
And could we do that at the tree lighting and the menorah lighting?
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I think that wouldn't necessarily even have to be approved at this point, since it's already an activity. Wouldn't that just be a coordination?
So I think the Christmas tree at Pfeiffer's,
Right.
or the holiday tree, is the 30th, and then I think the tree down at the lighthouse, I think, is December 7th, I think. I'm not sure when the menorah lighting is yet, but you could have the group from Cape at either one of those. I know they asked for a donation, so somebody should reach out and figure out how much it would be, and then how long you'd want them, for which one of those events would you want them to attend.
Well, if we do one, we kind of have to do the other one, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we should do both. Again, obviously depending on their availability and any logistics beyond that, but just from an ideas place, it makes sense to have them involved in both.
And unless we did it at the boardwalk at the same time, I mean, they could sing a Christmas song and they could sing a Jewish song.
They're on different nights, though.
Oh.
Have to get 'em for-
But the menorah, if we did it when the menorah was lit, is that too much past the Christmas tree?
I don't know, when does that start this year? Look. Can't believe we're thinking of December already. All
Yeah.
It's crazy.
right, so,
Summer was just yesterday.
December 7th is a Saturday.
It's usually the first Saturday in December for the Christmas tree at the lighthouse.
Right. I'm not seeing it. See where all the holidays are listed.
Hanukkah 2024 starts the evening of December 25th.
Hanukkah?
Yes,
Oh, it's late this
and it
year.
goes until January 2nd. How about that?
Well, that kind of takes care of that
Yeah.
Yeah.
issue then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we can just have them come to one thing.
You could have them sing the different holiday
Yeah, they
songs,
could,
right?
sure.
To cover
Sure,
everything,
absolutely.
right?
So the one at Pfeiffer's, so that's put on by the partnership, right?
Right.
That pays for that, so we'd have to ask them,
Yeah,
do you mind if we put people in your event?
yeah.
Like we're having a party for Phil and I just invite friends. I could do that too, right, Phil?
Sure.
I have a question about our last meeting where Pat brought up taking over some of the activities that the partnership had been doing.
Mhm.
Do we know specifically what those are and what are done?
We have not received any communication since then about that.
Not sure they want to give any of them up.
Yeah, so, and that would also, while we want to work in synchrony with them, we also have to be very careful and mindful of that because we are a volunteer organization versus doing business partnerships that have certain members being paid. So it would not necessarily be fair for our committee to then take on
Right.
duties that are, to put it in a very crass way, are their grunt work while they're getting a stipend. So we have to make sure that it just makes sense for everyone.
That's a good thing. Yep.
And so I do believe that there will be opportunities for all of us to work together. It's just, we want to protect ourselves as well.
Okay, so we don't initiate that. They'll come to us if they want us to do anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, we don't want to compete with the other groups, like if the Lions are having an event, the Lions are having an event.
Yes, exactly. There's plenty of room for everyone, but it is still a small town, so we do want to at most make this as congenial as possible.
Makes sense.
Okay, so a little bit of a recap in terms of what we're proposing for this winter seasonal activity. It seems like we want to add on to the existing tree lighting event, December 7th, down at Pfeiffer's. And what we are proposing is to reach out,
Wait, December 7th,
That's the lighthouse.
or that's the lighthouse
And
one.
Pfeiffer's is November 30th, is that what you said, Bill?
Yeah.
Pfeiffer's is 30th.
Okay, so I think then, with that regards, December 7th makes more sense. So we're proposing to reach out to coordinate with Cape Henlopen School District to have some of their students sing at the event, sing a collection of holiday songs, not necessarily only Christmas, but Christmas, Hanukkah, kind of run the gamut with that. Anything else that we're considering for this event in terms of proposing?
we'll need to identify what the costs are too. I
Yeah.
mean, I've had friends that have brought them to their house and I know they pay them and feed them and all those kinds of things.
Yep.
They're high school kids, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
they're happy to do it, but yeah, they also.
Yeah. Yeah, if we could get some grottos for them, they'll be even happier.
Yeah, that's great,
I
yeah.
think they get like $200.
Yeah.
Well, isn't there free food at the tree lighting anyway?
Yeah.
At the one at Pfeiffer's there is,
Yeah.
but not at the lighthouse.
That's
They're
not the
talking at the
lighthouse.
lighthouse.
Yeah.
So,
The menorah had donuts, they were really good.
Does anybody else want to discuss anything else to that seasonal activity? Any other ideas, wrinkles to
What
that?
can we do for Thanksgiving? There's people and kids here for Thanksgiving.
So on Black Friday, you've got the art program that'll be at the Hyatt this year on Friday and Saturday. It won't be there on Sunday. And that's by the artist, I can't remember,
DAC.
yeah. So there's usually a lot of people in town for that. They are going to do it at the Hyatt again this year.
All right, so,
Do we have any public comment on it?
does anybody from the public want to speak about potential events? It doesn't seem like anyone from the public is still on.
Phil left too?
Yeah, left after we send.
Any comment about the winter event, Sally?
I think it's a great idea.
All right, so with this in mind, let's just recap and start with the winter proposal for the event. So we're proposing that on December 7th at the existing tree lighting ceremony at the lighthouse, we would try to coordinate with Cape Penelope to find out the cost to have a choir from the school sing several holiday songs. Anything else?
I wish we could think of something.
Well, do we have a motion to recommend this to the town council?
We don't want to read.
Well, we're discussing the parade, an Easter walking parade. Not saying that it has to be mutually exclusive.
Right.
Well, if it's under 500, right, we don't have to have a vote on it.
I'll check,
Yeah,
find out.
I don't think we need to vote on having, you know.
The one thing, Ellen, that we
donation flags
discussed,
for
the
kids.
problem with parades is logistically, because that is a state highway, it becomes very difficult to arrange that, which is why for the the spring parade, spring event that we're talking about, we're trying to do a walking parade on the beach,
Right.
because it's less of a logistical nightmare. Yeah.
But we've done parades in the past. Because I've driven in them.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
So when we do that, you have to coordinate that with DelDOT, because you're shutting down a state road. It's like shutting down Route 1 in Wilmington. You're like, well, you shut down a road.
Wow. Okay.
So the neighbors get notified that the road's gonna be closed, the signage goes up, and it notifies people on Saturday from, like running of the bull. There's those road signs, so there's a major expense to shut it down and notify people on it. Otherwise, we'd just shut it down for no reason and just.
Parades every week.
We can't do that.
Parades every
As
weekend.
much as we'd like to. you know?
Okay, all right. I get it.
So, yeah, there's coordination for it. So if we want to do something in the spring, now's the time to talk about that, because it probably takes that long to get an answer.
So before we move on to then the spring event, do we have a motion to recommend a winter seasonal activity to the town council?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
I
Aye. All right. Motion passed. We will officially recommend then to add the winter seasonal activity, which will be the choir to the tree lighting ceremony on December 7th. Our next item on the agenda is discuss updates on fundraising ideas for the new town hall. Commissioner Bauer, can you provide us any information on that?
Yeah, it looks like shortly we're gonna have a bid out for the new building. And so we'll know walls and all that kind of stuff that's, because that's been our fundraising idea we've had, but we don't know how tall the wall is, how
Yep.
wide it is, et cetera, et cetera. But I guess, when would be the timing of that, Bill? So once, do we have it that do we have the size of a wall that we would maybe do donation, or, we were talking about the banners, the seashells, the beach chairs, all that kind of.
Yeah, so the lobby, when you walk in, there's not that much wall space. There's, between the fire exit door, the 2 bathroom doors, the 2 lobby doors, and the elevator. When you walk into the lobby, when you first come in, there
The main lobby.
isn't that much wall space. I don't know how much space will be upstairs on the walls, but I know in the commissioner's room upstairs, the mayor had mentioned about doing like historical photos from Dewey Beach, like a timeline almost. I think pavers to me, we know there's gonna be a green space on the south side of the building, and it's gonna be 15 feet wide. We would just have to come up with a cost for the pavers. You know, we'd have to look at how much is it gonna cost us to buy them and have them installed, and then figure out how much do we wanna charge per paver.
Yeah.
Some folks have said $200, other folks have said $500, because they're there, as somebody mentioned to me earlier, they're there forever. Then
Right.
whatever you put on that paper,
Right.
whether it's your dog's name, your family name, whatever it is. And there'll be at least 150 pavers, maybe more. So that's gonna, you know, if we went with $500 or $400, you know, that's gonna raise a lot of money.
Yeah.
For us, also. I'm just not sure at this time how much wall space there will be, and then the other thing is, you'd have to bring in somebody that's professional, almost painter, to make sure it looks,
Correct.
doesn't look like something that maybe some kids had done or something, right? I think we'll have a better feel for that once the building is actually done.
So we'll scrap the fundraising then for the banners and the seats, because we've already approved that in council, so we got to retract that now.
Was that approved to council? It was? Okay. I mean, you don't have to retract it. You can if you want, but I'm just saying we'd have to wait until the building's done and then find out, like, hey, there's a fire extinguisher on this building in a case.
Right.
Right, there's an AED on this side, and then over here is the elevator. We'd have to actually look and see what we have available
So there's no
before.
back wall behind the receptionist.
So behind the receptionist, there's gonna be cabinets.
Cabinets, okay.
Yeah, because there's no,
That wouldn't look good.
yeah. There'll be filing cabinets, right?
Yeah, that one once been cabinet. So the left and right wall when you enter the building, nothing there.
So yeah, as soon as you come in, there's a fire door here, and then there might be some space, and then you've got a door that goes to the police and the parking. There's a bathroom door. There'll be a wall space in the middle here that will say, like, second floor is this, first floor to the right, to the left. It'll tell you, it'll be a directory where everything's located. Then you have another bathroom door, and then immediately to the right of that, you have a door that goes into the admin area, where you get your parking and your dog licenses and your building permits and everything. And then there's an elevator. So, you know, I've said this before at the commissioners meeting, this building that we are building on a very small lot. We're putting a lot of people into it. We're putting police, parking, town admin, the building department, police department, and then in the back area is going to be paramedics. So we have maximized as much space as possible. There aren't going to be a lot of frills in this new town hall. It's going to look nice, but we're not going to have a two-story stairway with glass going up 2 stories on one side. Number one, we just didn't have the room for it. Number two, we can't afford it. We were trying to do this without, at this time, without any money from the town. When I say that, you know, some towns, when they built their police station, Milford raised property taxes for the police station. We're trying not to do that. So it's it's going to be functional, and it's going to provide services to the citizens and our visitors, but it's not going to have a 2-story foyer. It's not going to have some of the other things that you may see in some of the other buildings.
So once it's built though, I think it's hard to ask people for a donation to pay for it after it's built. You know what I mean? Like, the idea was to pay for some of the expenses of it. So we'll hold off on that, but I guess we can just focus on the pavers.
I like the
In
paver.
both.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say, I like the papers.
Yeah, I was gonna say the paver aspect does provide that legacy, and I think people will be, whether it's built or not, I think people will be interested in doing that.
Sure.
We've done the background on the pavers. We've researched the company. The only thing I don't have is how much it would actually be to install them. And figuring out if you wanted happy on one of the pavers,
course we do.
how do we determine where that paver goes? Is it first come, first served? So if you're the first one, then you'll be on the front left, right? And then next people, they'd go across, and you go back and forth and back and forth.
So the size is what, 8-inch by?
Yeah, it's like 8x4, I think, or it's bigger than a brick. So-
Do you remember how much we charged for the beach walk, for the names the families that donated to the blue covers on the beach.
You mean on the mats?
Yeah, the mats.
$1,000 a panel for 3 years.
And then what happened after the 3 years?
So the panels
You can
come
renew
off, and then the family can come pick the panels up if they want them, and
Okay.
put them in their garage, or hang them on a wall, or put them as a mat when you come into a beach house. And if not, they get thrown away.
Or you can
have to get a
renew.
new one.
You can renew for another 3 years. So a lot of people did either fit, they went 50% ones, which were $500, and $250 for a quarter. So $250, $500,000.
But we still have a lot of people that do those yearly. I mean, you can just see them when you go over any of the dune crossings. Some of them have 3, some of them have 2. I mean,
That's great.
yeah.
I was just wondering.
But I think the pavers is the way to go.
Okay. We'll focus
But
on
again, the building, we should, get the bid out for the building, get everything locked in, have it figured out with the amount of space out of that 15 feet, and then start selling the pavers.
Got it.
Is there any room for expansion on the town hall?
No, I mean, we're locked in between grottos, and there's townhouses to the south of us, and then, there really isn't.
All right, we'll move on to agenda item 3, discuss and possibly vote to recommend a spring walking parade to the town council. So this is what we were talking about earlier. So we, at the last meeting, had discussed possibly doing a walking parade for the spring season that would take place on the beach to limit the distractions and logistical nightmare that would require shutting down Route 1. Has anybody any thoughts, ideas about that further? Again, what we want, do we want to add anything to it, or just have our responsibility, so to speak, just be organizing the parade?
Well, when is the egg hunt? And when we don't want to conflict with that, or do we?
It's always the Saturday before Easter.
Saturday before Easter.
One thing we had mentioned about that was trying to pair it on the same weekend, because the egg hunt, I believe, is at 11, if not later in the day. So it's an afternoon-ish activity, and if the parade started kind of similar to Sea Witch, where it starts a little early, you could then have where it's a lot of people in town coming in, and it becomes more of a destination, really, than just serving maybe the immediate town as well as Bethany,
Do they do some kind of parade after the egg hunt? No, it's just the egg hunt.
Egg hunt normally goes for, it's probably like at least 2 hours, maybe
Wow,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's different
Groups,
ages,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
there's the little kids, and then they work their way up. There's at least 4 or 5 different, I'll call them heats, right, that end up going out, groups, 4 or 5 different groups.
Yeah, and then, that's always on the bay side of it, so having another event at a different location to get this group of
Get everybody
people
across the street, right?
over to there to start a parade, or,
And one year they had a dog parade, I remember
The dog
everybody
parade,
loved
that
the
was
dog
pretty
parade,
successful
right?
too, I think. We could do
but
that.
that stayed at the
love that.
Baywalk, didn't it?
Yeah, it stayed right there at
It
the
was stayed
Baywalk.
right on the side of the Baywalk.
Could we-
That's a good idea.
Yeah, could we do the parade like that on the same side?
Sure.
And I like the dogs too.
Right?
So what are we thinking of for a parade on it? Just
Keep
have
it- keep it
the
the
partnership
same
added
day.
to, well, they're already doing, the business partnership's already doing the dog parade.
Right. Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't, yeah, that's always part of the thing, so we want to have a second dog parade? No.
No, I don't think so.
Well, we could think of a different type of parade, that's a big weekend and everybody's here.
Yeah, I mean, it really would depend. If we're trying to keep it on the bay side, that may limit options just because there's not as much room. So if we were trying to do people, that can get congested very quickly. Unless we were trying to, just have it where it's like a kids parade. The kids are the ones walking and participating, and then they're gonna go, do the egg hunt later with the Dewey Business Partnership.
Well, I don't think kids should be crossing Route 1.
Well, they wouldn't be. No, it'd be the Bayside in that little loop.
Okay. No.
Or we could think of a different day. Mother's Day?
Have a Mother's Day parade.
Mother's Day parade would work. I mean, it's also non-religious too, so it kind of
Yeah.
frees us of any favoritism, so.
All right, let's do it on Mother's Day. That's a good idea.
So that would be the theme of it.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who is a male and doesn't have this perspective, would people feel offended if, like, you're stealing their thunder if it's a Mother's Day parade and say it's almost an obligation that they want to just do their own thing on Mother's Day?
I think I would suggest doing it Mother's Day weekend, but not necessarily on
On
Mother's
Sunday.
Day, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe
To
do it
celebrate
Saturday.
Celebrate all the moms of Dewey.
Yeah.
So what would you do for a Mother's Day parade? Like have the moms in the parade?
Have the
or-
moms in the parade, yeah. Sounds like Carmen wants to be in charge of this one. When is Mother's Day next year?
Hats. That's the Easter bonnet. And I think we need to give some more thought to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on that, just to recap, we're talking about doing a spring parade. We want to pair it with Mother's Day weekend, have it the Saturday of Mother's Day,
That's May 11th.
May 11th. No item, or no voting on it yet. We want to discuss it further.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I don't know. I think the weekend of the Easter egg hunt is better, because then at least you could do like a bonnet, like corny bonnet parade or something like that. You're gonna have so many people in town. I mean, all the people in town for Mother's Day too, but I'm just thinking, like, what's the draw for a Mother's Day parade?
Well, I would say.
Mimosas at the end.
Yeah. Well, I would say I agree with you on this one, Carmel, because I do feel May things start picking up as it is.
Already.
Versus April, where it's a little bit slower, and the goal would be to drive tourism and drive people to our businesses. So if we did it mid-April, it should still be theoretically nice weather, but it would be a slower time, which will then help some of our local businesses if we're driving a few hundred people there. Or it may not be 100 people, but you know.
What if the Easter Bunny led the parade? Right? With the kids.
Staying
In
out of this.
costumes.
You have to.
And in costumes.
And
Costume parade.
He's the Easter bunny.
What if you walked down the sidewalk with the kids and they got something at each, almost like a Halloween thing? They got like prizes, or it's like a scavenger hunt, or, well, they have a scavenger hunt on the beach, but you know what I'm saying? Like there's something for the kids along the route.
Easter treats. Fill their Easter baskets.
And
that
there's
kind of thing.
mimosas for the parents along the route.
It's before May 15th.
What's
Good
May
work.
15th? You're going away?
No, May 15th is when you're not allowed to have open liquor. Yeah.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean-
something.
No, I think that's a great idea. Obviously, we cannot, as the town, endorse that it's liquor. Like that would be the individual business's choice, you know? Anyone else want to add to that?
Well, wait,
I didn't realize you were done, so, you were done, sorry.
I don't know, like I'm on a roll. No, because remember when we talked about like how Rehoboth has the margarita crawl and stuff like that?
Yes.
Not that we would do a crawl, like we wouldn't advertise that, but like you said, if each business wanted to give
Do
out a
something special
sample
for
or
mom.
something.
Right.
Yeah,
That's up to the individual businesses.
Right.
yeah,
We're having a walk.
yeah,
Do what you
People leave,
want,
if mom decides to go into Starboard, well, mom went into Starboard.
right.
yeah.
Okay.
In terms of the walk, would we have to arrange that with anything? You know, does that require police escorts or anything like that?
I
If
mean,
it's just
during
stand on the sidewalk?
daylight, right?
Yeah.
We're talking daylight, I don't think there's any, it's not like the sprint triathlon this weekend where we have to have 13 police officers like every street they cross.
Yeah,
So I don't think so.
okay.
Or what if,
Keep going.
Yeah, you're on a roll.
We're on a roll.
so the Easter Bunny leads it, but anyone else that's dressed in a bunny costume gets some kind of prize or recognition.
So you're saying multiple Easter bunnies?
Easter Bunny Parade, yes.
Easter Bunny competition.
I like it.
wait, what if,
I like that one.
what if anyone who dresses like an Easter bunny can partake in whatever type of game, contest, something? Kayak races, I mean, whatever. You don't want to get your Easter bunny costume wet,
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying.
yeah.
There goes mom in a kayak.
I think
But with
it,
a hat.
yeah, I think it could be really fun.
It could be fun, it
Yeah.
could be silly, it could be fun, the kids would laugh.
I think that would be the idea. you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we could start at Route 1 on Bayard, come down Bayard, come up Bellevue, and then down
And have a
towards the
whole
high.
parade of Easter bunnies.
Have a parade of Easter
That's
bunnies.
very funny, I like that.
So what time does the Easter bunny thing start? That's normally 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10
First
to
group.
So we could
12
do
or
something
1.
at 8 o'clock. Might be a little early, but
Yeah.
They're
Well-
gonna go drink it.
might confuse the kids a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of Easter bunnies here.
So
Would
we
it have to be
multiply.
like 1 or 2? Find the real Easter bunny.
Well, after the kid thing, could you do it after the kid
Sure.
thing?
You have to do it after the
Like
Easter
2
day.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So instead of Mother's Day, we're looking at.
No, we're back to
Back
the
to
Easter
Yeah.
bunny.
Back
It's
to
better,
Easter.
it's much better.
Yeah,
It's up to what you folks decide.
yeah. All right, well, it sounds like we wanted to sit on this and discuss it at the next meeting and possibly vote then. So I'm just gonna recap and then we'll move on. So we would like to recommend eventually that it would be a walking parade on Easter weekend, 2 p.m. after the Easter egg hunt that is done on Bayside. Again, we would keep it walking, so it would also be voluntary participation by the businesses, and then they can decide independently what they'd like to give as a possible treat to anyone who's participating. We would encourage Easter Bunny costumes and reward with some kind of prize, whether it's candy or something like that.
Right. We'll solicit the local businesses to
Yeah.
support it. What we call it, the Easter hop.
I love it.
The bunny
Easter
The
hop.
bunny hop.
Bunny hop.
The bunny hop.
The bunny hop, and then Easter next year is on April 20th.
Yeah, the 19th is Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, so from a committee's perspective, the next meeting, we if we're gonna do this, we have to decide so we have ample time for planning.
Yeah.
All right, our next item, item 4, discuss Dewey and Bloom updates. Patrice.
Just very quickly, we are planning for October 13th that our gardeners will pull out all of the summer plants and replant pansies in the planters. We are talking about expanding our boxes next year, and we've already started putting the word out. Kate, as usual, did a magnificent job in the newsletter with the spread all about us. Thank you, Kate. We're starting to talk to sponsors, donors, potential volunteers. We have tentatively set April 22nd for a fundraiser, Big Fish. We'll donate 15% of proceeds from that day. That's a Tuesday after Easter, and we're hoping we get some of the Easter crowd still in town.
Yeah.
And we're looking for other options to do that. What else, Ellen? And Belisa, what else?
I think
That's basically it.
Great. Next item, public comments. Anybody like to comment?
I just have 2 things really quick. So
Yeah.
we have a Public Safety Day on September 21st. The hours are 12 to 4. It's at the Lions Club. It's set up for kids. There'll be food, face painting, moon bounce. There'll be some small animals, some goats and some other things there. And then you'll have DNREC, State Police, and of course, our police department will be there. So if you can make it, again, that's September 21st from 12 to 4 at the Lions Club. And then we're also still looking for donations for the Roe Beach Volunteer Fire Company. The town will match those. We're looking for those donations till this Friday at about noon. And then Saturday, we will donate the money to the fire company at the end of the summer party.
Great. Anything else? Public comments?
I actually have another comment. Go ahead.
I think that all of this is a great idea, establishing more or less the shoulder season for Dewey.
Right.
which we've never really had. But I think that the population would be very open to it, and we're seeing more and more people here more frequently. So I really, it's very exciting.
Good.
Patrice?
I just wanted to ask a question about the Climate Change Committee and whether we want to talk about, we all were discussing doing something with them. Is there any update on what the status, what we should be doing or what we're doing?
What I saw on the, that we have on the town website, they had a meeting Saturday, and I guess they're gonna put together some document. So when we talked about it, I mean, we had nothing really to go from, right? So I think that needs to come from the climate change, is like, what is it that we want to explain, communicate to people? So, until we have something, at least we know what we're we can't come up with a communication plan before we know what we're trying to communicate first. So I think once we get that, then that's listed on your next meeting, the 17th, something like that.
September 20th at 3 PM here at the Lifeguard Station, your next commissioners meeting. I don't know if that's going to be on the agenda. It's not, it's in October's.
It's not on anything yet because the council voted a workshop between
Okay.
the two committees, so.
Yeah, so
Thank you, Kate.
Between what two committees?
between our committees, so Sally is with the Climate Change Committee, and so
Nice to meet you.
her and I spoke briefly before this, and she gave me this document. I will also then circulate this to everyone else. This is their brainstorm. So
Okay.
this is a brainstorm. This is not a concrete document of anything in terms of a contract, so we still have to discuss from based on this. But I will read this tonight. I will share this with you, and then we will figure out our workshop date so that we can move forward and figure out how we will work together.
Yeah,
And
so,
it would be helpful if at some point we, could get an idea of what information you need from us.
yeah, so whatever we bring from committee to a workshop, we have to notice it, obviously, to the public. This is what we're going to talk about. These are the attached documents that we're going to use. And you have to have 7 days advance notice, so you can't just like, oh yeah, here's a document we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you have the FOIA complaints that come in after, like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what you all were going to talk about today. So we can take another week or two off on it and reconvene.
Yep. All right.
Thanks.
If there are no more public comments, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I so moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, folks.